Hi, welcome back to Lauralign. Today we're going to once again focus on that counting breath technique as we do some hip openers and some upper back love. Go ahead and wear something comfy and meet me on your mat. Hello and welcome or welcome back. I invite you to drop right into that breath today if you already are kind of feeling it. As per usual, we're going to start out kind of slowly. Right now I'm just kind of doing some wiggly movements, just getting some extra tension out. If you find yourself being fidgety, doing little wiggles like this, I know it seems silly, and it certainly looks a little silly. It's like a little dance, you know, just like a la 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 la, whatever, but it can really feel nice to just like let it go. You know, it's like la 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 la. Like whatever noise or movement you feel like you need to make, just do it and get it out of the way so you can just lay back and relax for a few minutes while we give our scalp some attention and try to release some tension from the temples and the jaw. Focusing on relaxing the skin of the face as we do so, the skin and the muscles of the face, I guess I should say. I'm certainly guilty of holding a lot of tension there. So, in your own time, drinking your water and doing all the things to get yourself set up for a nice practice here. So, take your time. You don't have to do what I'm doing. You just do whatever you need to do to get ready. Eventually, when you find yourself being like, okay, what next? You can start to focus on counting your breath as we've done the last several practices. And as a gentle reminder, or maybe even a first timer learning moment here. What I'm talking about is when you inhale, you're going to count. So however you want to count, it's up to you. I recommend counting to even numbers. And for me, my inhale starts at about 4, and you want to extend your exhale. Basically so much so that whenever you exhale, you're emptying your lungs of pretty much all your breath, as much as you possibly can without feeling incredibly uncomfortable or anything. And what that does is not only does it slow the heart rate, but it also makes your inhale naturally full and swift. So maybe you can even bump that down to like a 2 eventually. Meanwhile, having a very long exhale count. A good hint for starting out is if you start with an inhale of 4, you want to start with an exhale of 6. And whenever you feel comfortable, you're going to bump it up to an exhale of 8, while keeping an inhale of 4 and seeing if you can shorten it even more, while continually lengthening your exhale. I'm going to give you some space to do that, and feel free to take some wiggly moments here with your feet as wide as the mat, remaining on our backs here, shoulders. You can kind of walk them underneath you to help relieve some tension there, possibly. And kind of making the knees go inward towards each other and doing like little windshield wiper or whatever organic movement feels great for you right now. Just focusing on the breath for a few breaths, maybe 10, 15 breaths, or however long you'd like before we meet up in seated. Knowing that at any moment, if you're experiencing any discomfort with your counting breath, that you can just breathe normally, or just take a few deeper, calming breaths, just organic breaths, don't even count them. And then when you're ready, you can always jump back into it. Rocking up to a comfortable seat. Dandasana with the legs out long, micro bend in the knees, or you can keep the knees as bent as you need to. You want to keep a very nice, very nice bend in the hips here, so kind of squaring the hips in the back, the low back here, like a 90-degree angle. Nice straight spine. Hey, Goba. Can flex your feet. Point and flex whatever you feel like you need to do. As always, encouraging organic movement, since your body is certainly going through different things than my body. It's just how it is. It's based on job and lifestyle choices, etc. Remembering to kind of look around. Big circles with just the eyes can work wonders for eye strain and tension. I know we stare at screens all day. I have a dream that one day I won't have to look at screens all day, but right now, I mean, it's just how life is. Technology is cool and all, but kind of hurts my eyes sometimes. Whenever you're ready, kind of dropping back to ow, Gooba. Dropping back to child's pose or like a cat-cow dance. Basically just doing the drill, the first same moves I usually always do in my practices. So you may know it by now. If not, just follow along. Dropping back to that breath. Inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhaling. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I probably should have given some warning there, but I'm kind of just winging this, to be honest with you. There are some practices where I'm like, yeah, I know exactly what I'm going to do today, but this is one of them where I'm like, I know I want to do some counting focus, but my body is just like, I'm not really sure what it needs today. I'm thinking hips and upper back. We're gonna do one more counting breath, me counting it for you. If you're not feeling it, just ignore me. If you are feeling it, feel free to keep up the counting on your own. We're gonna do an inhale of 4 and an exhale of 10 once more. Go ahead and take a couple deep breaths on your own first. Still playing around in this cat-cow child's pose, whatever you feel like you need right now, because we're just focusing on the breath for a moment here. With your next inhale, I will begin counting. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Breathe in, nice and swift. Hopefully you're getting the gist of it. Whenever you're ready, taking a nice little hovering cat here to warm things up. And then going from plank to downward facing dog. So you can follow along with me or doing it in your own time. That's why I'm kind of telling you the plan here. Slug some water if you need it. Finding your foundation in all fours. Pressing into everything touching the mat and lifting your knees for hovering cat. Use that counting breath to fuel you, to energize you through this. And at the end of an exhale, push back to child's pose real quick if you need it before your plank. No shame in taking a few moments just to breathe here without worrying about the counting. This is certainly something that is a practice, and don't feel like you need to maintain it throughout an entire practice by any means, but dropping in and out of it is certainly better than not doing it at all, I would say, right? I'm sure you would agree. So whenever you feel like you found your foundation and that breath once more, you can join me in plank, or maybe you already did it and you're just chilling, waiting on me to get to the next part of the practice, and that's totally fine. Here we go. Couple breaths here. And downward facing dog. Nice upper back release here as you walk the hands back for a nice forward fold. The weight is on the heels here. Bend your knees as much as you need to. You can even lift your toes if you want. Just test out your balance here. Arms can hang limply. Can feel great in that trapezius area to do so, or you can wrap them around each other. Even get your legs involved with the wrapping here. And coming down into a low squat whenever you feel like you've had enough of that. This hair is just wild today. I'm loving it. The volume, though. Alright, so anyways. Kind of a gentler practice today. We're gonna transition into a stretchy phase, and then a twisty phase, and then Shavasana. So you can feel free to grab your pillow for this. I just so happen to not have it near me, although I could use a blanket, so I'm gonna grab my blankie. We're gonna do one-legged pigeons like we've done before. So basically going to all fours and walking your right leg back and your left leg up, keeping that left knee bent and kind of shifting it around to have that shin parallel to the ground, flexing your left foot, all the while keeping your right leg straight and pressing into kind of the top of the front part of your leg into the mat. And you can use that blanket to drop that left hip on. This is great for the hip flexors, low back. You can press up on your palms like this, lifting the upper body up, kind of for a nice back bend here. Traditionally, you could also bend your straightened leg and kind of reach back and grab it. That today is certainly not within my grasp, but go for it if you like. If you're feeling more of a restorative, then you can always drop down on your elbows or relax the weight of the head down. To come out of this one, my favorite way is just to simply sit back on that blankie as much as you can. Or come onto the bum somehow. I didn't really end up on the blanket there, but I think you see what I'm saying. Hopefully. Especially since I have done it before on the channel. And then we can move the blankie and do the other side. So back to your all fours. Left leg comes back now. Right leg goes up. Shifting that blankie under that right hip. As we try our best to go back into this pose. Using your counting breath here for at least one full counted breath. Before coming out of it in your own way. Now I want to try one more thing for our hips before we go into twisting in Shavasana. So come back onto the bum and you're gonna bend your legs like so. I'm really bad at explaining exactly how my legs are, but you can look at the screen and see how my legs are bent. This can feel awesome through the hip flexors. You really want to try to stay square through the hips as you do this. And there's some cool exercises also that I've been looking into. I'll link them. This really cool channel made it, obviously. I'll link that down below, and that's where I got this inspiration from, but you can basically lift up something like this and really work on your hip flexors. Hip strength is really, really necessary for a lot of mobility, and painful hips can really seem like a normal thing, but it doesn't have to be. So this can help, and I've been experiencing painful hips myself, so we're going to work on this together. So in your own time, just doing both sides, knowing you can use the cushion if you need it, and feeling free to use things to assist you to lift up, like a chair or other person or whatever prop you feel like you may need. And whenever you're ready, whenever you've had enough of that, you can rock to your back, pull your knees up to your chest. Gonna rock side to side here while pulling your shoulders beneath you. Feel free to take a happy baby here. So just an option before we twist in just a moment. Playing with the pelvis here, you can kind of
feel this range of motion that may or may not be available to you. Arms and legs out, stretch, full body stretch. Squeeze your buttocks together. Let it go. Take a twist of your choice. I like to leave one leg out long, bend the knee of the other, and twist over. As long as you keep focus on your shoulders touching the ground, then you can kind of move and pulse out of this organically. Switching sides whenever you feel the need. And whenever you're ready, settling into some form of stillness. It's fine if you wiggle just a little bit. As you settle into the mat for just a few moments of reflection. Give yourself thanks for taking the time for yourself. And as always, I want to thank you for giving me your trust and coming along with me on this journey. I hope things are going well for you. I'm still gearing up to get even more videos put out, so I hope you're looking forward to those. And if you didn't check out that cat compilation that I put out recently, you can check it out now or after this video. I'll put a link to it right above. I hope that you feel at least a little more calm and relaxed as you let everything melt into the mat fully. And take a few more moments to yourself just to breathe naturally and just know that you have done a great service for yourself by just showing up today, regardless of whether you followed along to what I was doing or if you just laid on your mat. You are here, and tomorrow is a new day, so don't forget that. Take care of yourself, and I will see you next time.